China is expanding their borders by creating islands from scratch in the South China Sea. Personally, I find it easier to make islands from a box. China, the country whose phone calls we avoid. The US and China are engaged in a mostly passive-aggressive relationship that includes spying, hacking, and most recently, the US driving by China's new island to see if anyone was home. China recently converted large reefs in the Spratly Islands into artificial land masses by moving sediment up from the ocean floor. They built port facilities, military barracks, and at least one runway capable of landing airplanes, both suspicious and otherwise. Everyone's a little freaked out because this area wasn't China until very recently. Hell, it wasn't an area until very recently. China could be after resources in the Spratly Islands, but the International Waters Treaty clearly states that while you can build them, artificial islands are not considered islands for the purposes of having their own territorial waters or exclusive economic zones. The more likely scenario is a continuation of China's official policy of modernized construction, maintaining world peace, and common development. This is just one of a dozen instances of China creating something where there was nothing. China has already won a bid to build a railroad in Jakarta, and they're planning another one that would connect the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific Ocean. They call it railroad diplomacy, and it fits with their mission, and it's working. China recently passed the US and Europe as the dominant financial power in the developing world. But some analysts are warning that the world may be becoming too dependent on China. According to the New York Times, the country has risky investments in nations like Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, and North Korea, which is also where I have most of my income invested. I mean, when Dennis Rodman tells you to invest, you invest. Risky investments are bad, and they get worse when there are indications that the Chinese economy is at best slowing, and at worst on the verge of collapse. Oil prices are down, manufacturing is stalled, the stock market is shrinking. I mean, China, come on. We did that like 7 years ago. So it seems like China is just a middle school bully. Their home life sucks, nobody likes them, and all they're acting out is just a cry for a big hug. Hey, thanks for watching The Daily Desk. If you like what you saw, click to subscribe, comment below, share the link with a friend or an enemy.